And so let's see what our Duna lander looks like. Or rather, what our crew looks like. Duna lander. I think Jorny is going to be the pilot. Yeah, there you go. Level 2 scientists. We can put them both in the mobile processing lab. I suppose for the sake of argument, I'll bring an engineer. We don't need an extra person, but we're going to do that. There'll be an empty seat in case they find an alien on Duna. Then they can bring that home. And that's it. Note, these people are never coming home. They're never coming home. Maybe far in the future, when we have more components and whatever, we'll generate some sort of rescue mission. But these people are going to get planted on Duna, and they're going to stay there while they process all the science that they possibly can, which will probably take them at least a year of just sitting there on Duna. We have no life support mods installed, so they're not going to run out of food or anything like that. Batteries aren't going to be required because if we're not running it directly, it's not going to run out of power. So that's going to be okay. So I'm pretty happy about this. Spend more science. Did we have enough science to unlock another level? Do you have 160? No, we don't. I mean, there might be, I guess we could get the aerodynamics or the miniaturization. Actually, the miniaturization would give us our very first docking port, which I think would unlock, like, docking missions. But that's okay. No, I think we're going to launch this, you folks. Add TV to them so they can watch Twitch. They'll have internet, just the lag will be pretty crazy. Let's see what happens. I see a lot of detach module getting used. Is there a reattach module? I have no idea what our Delta V is in here. We very well may have to, like once we get in orbit, we might find out we don't have enough go, and then we'll just revert, and we'll just put more boom on here. But I'm not going to play through the whole process of, like, you know, rescuing the people so we can come home and just attach more boosters or anything like that. It's going to be a long mission. The other thing I can do, actually, before we launch, let's make sure that Mars is in a relatively reasonable position. If that's where we're going. If we're going to Duna... Oh, and it is, actually. Here's the thing. Because we're in a lower orbit, we're going to be catching up to Duna. It might be a little too far. No, I don't know. We're going to be naturally catching up to Duna, as is. So it's ahead of us, and I think that's going to be good. I think this is exactly where we kind of want it to be. I think it's possible we'd actually prefer being over here. So we're launching maybe a bit late. But close enough. Is transfer window-ish? Whatever, let's do it. Who needs math? We could work out the math to find out a good transfer window. But that sounds like the sort of thing loser Kerbals would do. Nerd Kerbals. We're not one of the nerd Kerbals. And yeah, we can go and remove slots, show more slots. That's a neat little feature. We're going to throttle back a wee bit, and then go ahead and start our gravity turn. Nice to have a level 2 pilot. We actually have some more commands here. Just go ahead and hug yourself to prograde. Alright. Leave Bill home. Nope, Bill's coming with us. What if we need to fix something? What if the internet breaks? We need someone who can turn the computers on and off. It's very important. What I suppose I could have done is accelerate until I hit 300 or so, and then throttle back a bit to avoid Mach effects, but I don't know, we're okay here. Looking okay, because the air is already getting a little thinner. I think we're still accelerating a bit faster than we'd ideally want. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of aerodynamics. So I'm just throttling back a scooch. We're about 60% power over here. And we are a little steep on our gravity turn, but I actually don't mind that at all. I did run out of fuel, right? I think I hit it a little too soon. I was just looking at the meter, they looked empty. They hadn't quite finished yet. I don't... Shit, we lost the parachute. That's all that happened, though. We only lost a parachute. Should probably abort. We lost the drogue chute. Abort? We're not that far. We should probably just revert. As funny as it would be to continue, it would really suck if we got all the way there and it turned out that without that extra drogue, we were sort of screwed. So, because it's such a long mission, Just going to redo that. Yeah, but I wasn't looking at the flames. I was looking at the meters over here. So those fuel tanks are still burning a little bit longer than expected. So we're going to try this again. Gravity turn. Started. Locked prograde. Actually, yeah. You can fuel a little bit longer here. And we'll pull back. There we go, that's good. Yeah, no, the staging's fine. Yeah, the staging is fine. I just staged slightly too early. Oops. Slow it down. Slow it down. There we go. I staged slightly too early because it looked like they were done, but there was still a little bit of flame. So I'm going to wait until the flame actually goes out this time. Because it's this thing over here, and that is indeed the first decouplers. Again, we're definitely not gravity turning enough here, but that's okay. So I'll wait for the actual flame out. Now we go. And we can go full boost again. Yeah, definitely too steep. I'm going to try to nudge us down a bit. Actually, as long as our velocity is increasing, I can also throttle back, which will help us flatten ourselves out a little bit, because then gravity will take over a bit more. So we're going to be too steep. Last time was really good, other than the fact that we blew up one of our key parachutes. I'm sure that wouldn't have doomed the mission. Okay, we are outside of the atmosphere enough that... Actually, we're going to go to orbital prograde here. So we're not quite surface prograde, so there's a little bit of sideways wind shear, but not enough to cause a problem, I think. Yeah, this is definitely a bit on the steep side. Okay, now we're definitely... I can go completely sideways, I think. Yeah, it's thin enough that we're not going to start flipping out or doing any sort of weird stuff. Good. And I'll just bring us up to like 80 or something, so that the fact that we'll get a little bit of atmospheric whatever doesn't cause too much problem. Just face prograde. Not the smoothest gravity turn ever, but it worked out halfway okay. I don't know. So I was worried that not only we lost a parachute, but we might have lost like an antenna or something like that I hadn't seen. It looks okay right now, though. That's a cool looking little ship, I think. I don't know. So the big question, I have no idea how much delta V this central tank is. And that's the one that's going to be quite important, because especially the fact that we have sort of a non-optimal transfer window. The burn's going to be a little bit more. Okay. Good stuff. Let me go and start the circularization burn now, and a little bit more horizon, because we're starting a bit early. Apoapsis is still closing in, not very quickly though, so we probably didn't start it quite yet, but we didn't start the circularization burn like crazy early, is what this means. Now we're pushing the apoaps away, so we can actually throttle down. Because we're raising our apoapsis maybe a little bit more than we're circularizing. I could just stop completely, actually. Let's do that. I'll wait until we get a bit closer. I'll just lock us into prograde here. That'll be fine. Oops, I accidentally time warped, which is not what I meant to do at all. Apoapsis is climbing. So if the time to apoapsis is increasing, it means you're starting your burn a little too early. You're raising your apoapsis a little bit more and circularizing. Which, some of that's always going to happen, unless they, like, again, can do instantaneous burn at exactly the apoapsis. Oh, and that is our stage. There you go. Time to apoapsis is decreasing now, because there's not a big thrust to weight over here. But we should still be just fine. And then I forgot to hotkey all of my solar panels. Woo! Turn our lights on. Excellent. Raising the parry, raising the parry. And there we go. That's enough to be in orbit. Give me lots of time to do this. And this. And that. Undat. There you go. I guess we extend a few more there. Yeah, this is going to be a pain because I'm going to have to go and tuck them all in again before we enter Dunan, the atmosphere. Because otherwise they'll all get broken off. But now we've got that. Boom, boom. Okay, so, we're still most eyeballing things. Let's get ourselves in position. Duna is over there. We need to boost ourselves into a higher orbit, which means we have to leave Kerbin going leftwards. So if we start the burn, actually, kind of now, although it wouldn't surprise me if we ended up having to do a pair of them. I guess we'll just burn. We might have to take two. I want to burn from this spot. But we may have to do a second orbit around and then do it again. Because this is going to be a fairly long burn, given our weak sauce power here. Oh, I'm really worried that it's not going to work out for us. I'm really worried that this stage doesn't have the Delta V. We might have needed a big ring of nuclear engines. That's okay. If we don't have enough boom, we'll go back and add more boom. If we could get a slingshot off the moon or something, that'd be good, but the slingshot might not be in the direction that we are expecting. Oh my god, our thrust weight is so bad. It's like a space jalopy. Okay, I'm actually going to stop it because it's taking so long that ultimately we're going to be leaving in the wrong location. We're going to look at starting a new burn more like here on the next one. I mean, mostly it's the same sort of overall direction. Any chance we get a helpful boost? I mean, we could plan it, but that sounds like math. Okay, there we go. So we want something basically this. It's going to be, oh, just a 2-minute burn at this point. That's pretty good, but we'll do it from the right place, and I'll try to get it sort of tangential or, I don't know, something like that. That's all right. I'm okay with this. Quick save, time warp to here. So I mean, assuming that number is correct, then we'll start the burn 1 minute before we hit that maneuver node. Whee! Which is coming up pretty quickly, actually. Oh, you still can't lock to maneuver, which is a bit annoying. So let's just go stability assist. A little bit of time warp here to stop that rotation. Then try to lock on. Boom. Pretty close. There we go. Alright, so we're just going to try to time warp until it says 1 minute left, and then we'll start this burn. I'm impatient, so I keep doing the time warp to get it closer, which is always a risk. And a minute left, so let's go ahead and start this. No, the time hasn't changed. So we'll try to stay locked to the maneuver node. And in theory, this will boost us in the right direction. And then we can keep burning or whatever. What I'll probably do is wait until we actually exit Kerbin and go. I mean, ideally, you do a longer burn here that actually lands you in the exactly place we want, but that's hard to do. I guess I could have tested different maneuvers and see if that intersects with with Duna. But it'll just be a lot easier to do if I just wait until outside. Then I know that this is a safe place to do it where I'm dodging the moons. Good enough. It's going to use a little extra Delta V, but we'll see how it goes. You want to go in the left direction? Yeah, I'm going in the left direction. Which is slightly boosting our orbit around above Kerbin. Not much more, but some. And then what I'll do, after I finish the base maneuver here, I'm going to put another maneuver node over here and see, just like a couple minutes ahead of us, and see what that would do for us. Basically, it'll be a continuation of the current burn. But we'll just be able to do it as a second calculation. And then we'll see if that gets us, if we can work out some sort of intercept to Duna. Especially right at our periapsis would be quite nice, because we get the biggest boost. But yeah, doing maneuvers with low thrust weight is very tricksy. Coxie, thank you very much for the sub. And I think we also got a message, a tip from Haddock over here. Who apparently made some sort of artwork. Hey, cool. Neat. I like it. And whoa there. All right, good enough. So then what I'm going to do is this. Hang on, I'll get back to the messages in a moment. It'd be nice to just pause, but I can't. So let's put the maneuver. Let's put the maneuver 2 minutes away. Give me a little bit of time here. So, because eventually we want to get near Duna, and hopefully we're at the correct angle overall. Do we get an intersection? Oh, we don't have it set as a target, which could help out a little bit with planning things. Is that node? Yeah. Oh, is weird shit happening now? Weird shit's happening now if I mess with this. I think we're intersecting some sort of moon. Whoa. Yeah, I should have planned this maneuver ahead of time and then changed the time a little bit. Maybe some, I don't know. It's fine. Alright, I'm not going to do the maneuver here. I'm going to wait until... And while it is nice and optimal to do it within, you know, near Kerbin, I suppose I could get a little bit more of a boost. I mean, that was mostly doing prograde stuff, right? It's fine. I'm going to play it safe. It could be an inclination problem, which I'll mostly fix when I'm outside. It's going to be... So, better Delta V to do it all near Kerbin for lots of reasons. Single burn, gravity assist, yada, yada, yada. But impossible for me to sort of, like, wrap my way around the mathematics. So, I'm just going to pop until we've left Kerbin, and then I'll be doing it with the a frame of reference that I'm comfortable with. What's our ascending? Oh, we're actually just 0.1 degree off for ascending nodes and stuff. We're actually really not having any inclination problem whatsoever. I'm just going to time warp a scooch more, because it's still in a bit of a rough spot there. Okay. So now what we're looking for is effectively just a place to do a home-in transfer to Duna. So now I can, like, play with these maneuvers in a way that might be a little bit more comfortable. Look at that! We get an encounter. Needs 1,000 Delta V, but we can get an encounter over here. The fact that I had to burn a little bit radial there is indicative that we didn't leave Kerbin at the optimal place. If you leave Kerbin at exactly the right time, so I think that would have been probably a couple weeks earlier. If you leave Kerbin at exactly the right time, you shouldn't have to do any radial or anti-radial burn. Boom. We'll have to do some fine-tuning. The fine-tuning will be such microscopic Delta V from this distance. So this is in 68 days. Yeah, and the reason is, like you're doing it here, notice that it's on the opposite side of the sun from where the encounter will actually happen. So that's pretty much right. Certainly we must have 1,000 Delta V left in the tank here. Probably? I don't know. What am I, a rocket scientist? Pff, I don't think so. So let's go ahead and try to vaguely point ourselves correctly. I'm going to quick save here so I don't lose that maneuver node. Since you're going to Duna, go to Ike as well, more science. Oh, speaking of science! I have to science the hell out of things outside of the sun here in solar orbit. And we want to start our little science lab. Bam. Just a little time warp to kill the rotation for a sec here. Okay. Open the doors. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Material bay. All right, we're going to transfer the science into the lab. Oh, it tells you how long it's going to take. 125 science over 82 days. Observe the material goo. The lab is currently busy. Oh, I think it can only transfer one thing at a time. Hang on. Let's see what happens as soon as this percentage is done. That's different. That didn't used to be the case. I'm pretty sure you could just queue up an infinite number of things over here. Notice it's also using a lot of power to transfer that data. Let me cancel this a second. And try it again. There we go. Now I can transfer that in. Yeah, it uses power to transfer into the lab. Interesting. And the barometer. Transfer that. Actually, is there, there used to be... Oh, yeah, the bulk clean experiment, so I don't even have to go out. Log temperature. Oh, you're still busy? Hang on. Log temperature. Transfer into the lab. I don't know if we can do the crew report, because we've already brought it home. But we've never scienced it. No, we can still use it to add data to the lab. Brilliant. How are we? We've got... Oh, yeah, we've got lots of room for more data, which is great. Let's go ahead and EVA with someone. EVA. We're going to grab the EVA report. We're going to keep it. Then we're going to board. Then we're going to review. And we're going to transfer that to the laboratory. Also, I think that means with the transfer, the way it's working now, we don't even have to go and empty the thermometer. There's literally nothing there. It's already moved. And if we combine that with the fact that I can right-click on the lab and clean experiments, it's going to save us an EVA. We're not going to have to EVA to reset the material bay or the goo. We could. We brought scientists. But we don't have to. They actually improved a couple of things over here. A couple of things I don't think used to work exactly like this. Again, I get a bit confused because I was using a lot of science mods. The D-Magic one, for example. But the cleaning was always an option. But I don't think it transferred data into the science module the same way as before. And this is really quite handy. Start research. Okay. Research tends to be quite heavy on the electric charge, but we're clearly generating enough. And you can see the science is starting to tick up. And eventually we'll just be able to transmit all that science away. The actual experiments are still going to be on board over here, I believe. So if we want to ever bring home the experiments, I think it still works that way. But we'll be able to generate this and then transfer it at some point. And we do have our antenna right over here. I can just extend this right now, right? I don't think it uses power to just have it extended. Boop. Beautiful. Lovely. We're very spiky right now. Look at this. We got things sticking out all over the place. Excellent. Okay, so I guess what we're going to do is we're going to time warp the next maneuver. So let me warp to here first. Keeps getting a little confused because we are still neck and neck with Kerbin here. Because we left Kerbin with just the real minimum amount of effort. Again, it's not the ideal way to do your transfer. But it does go. So now we're 21 days away. Let's warp a little closer. Visually, things are a little bit wonky. I wonder, oh, did we drift with our little mini extra encounters with Kerbin? Did we drift from where we thought we would be? I think I'm going to redo this maneuver. The ship is very quilliful. Yeah, it's full of quills. You're right. I think I'm going to redo this maneuver, and I'm going to hope I can figure it out again. I mean, it was mostly... I gotta save from right before this, so in case we need to revert, we're fine. It could just be a graphic thing. Sometimes things line up a little bit oddly. Do that. Plus a little bit of... Oh, was it anti-radial? I think it was anti-radial, actually. There's an encounter, and roughly the same delta V as before. Okay, so we're still underway. So I'm going to try to point to the right direction here, and time warp. And actually, I'll keep using. Yeah, see now it's right on our path. I think we did re-encounter a Kerbin a couple of times, and its gravity threw us just off course. Okay. Should be a 2-minute, 43-second burn. Hopefully we've got enough fuel for that. I think clearly at this point our ship design had enough fuel for everything, but a lot of the maneuver and things I've done have been a little bit inefficient. So if we do not have quite enough go, just repeating the same mission but flying better might make a difference. Also, we clearly had plenty of thrust to weight to take off. I could have loaded extra fuel here. I could have loaded some extra fuel for this this current phase here, for example. And that might have been good. So we're gonna whoa, whoa, whoa. And I think it's time to start the burn. Okay, nice little wobbly line. Again, distance is involved here. Ooh, I don't like the fact that we're actually having trouble. Oh, I don't have SAS on. The distances involved here means you get floating point errors in computing, which is why you get a little bit of wibbly wobbly. So I think our center of mass is slightly off, especially with everything extended perhaps, which is one of the reasons it is tending to drift a little bit. It'd be nice if we had a pilot good enough that we could lock to the maneuver node. Whee! Look at this bad boy. It's awesome! Best Duna ship ever. Now, we haven't actually told these guys they're never coming home. At some point, they're probably going to figure it out, although they are Kerbals, so they might not.